must suck to be in the trunk.
Hi, I'm Jen Soska.
And I'm Sylvia Soska, and
we're the Soska Sisters.
I was going to do Twisted Twins.
Well, we're both the Twisted Twins and the Soska Sisters.
And you are watching Death Curse Society.
You're watching
Death Curse Society. Death Curse Society. Death Curse Society.
Rock and roll! 6 o'clock already, it was just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, cause that's my fun day. Why I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Woo! Here we go again, folks. It's another Monday Maniacs from Death Curse Society. That's Zigzag over there, the Colonel, Phase down there, and I'm Red Crank. And we are the champions.
Congratulations, Seattle Supersonics.
Hey,
Yeah.
go fuck yourself.
And congratulations. If it wasn't for an injury, it might have actually been a game in the second half.
Oh, damn.
I
That
only saw like the last 6 minutes of last night's game, but hey, yeah. I don't
I'm
follow it
happy-
that closely.
I'm happy
But,
for you.
yeah, I don't follow it that closely, but I'm happy, after 18 years or 17 years, whatever it is,
God,
I
it's been
went-
long already.
I got this shirt at one of the first games. Like, it was the first week that they were the Thunder in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, let him have it. He has literally nothing else in
Yeah.
way of the Big Four. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Congratulations, Crank, on a basketball championship, formerly the Seattle Supersonics.
Would you stop that? Shut up.
And Gary Payton is mad right now.
Yeah, right. And his 17 kids.
Yes.
Well, hey, what's going on, guys? How was, besides that, how was your week, Colonel?
Been hot. But pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
Not too bad. To beat the Heat, obviously seen 28 years later, not 20 years later. And then watched Elio. Unfortunately, Sarge is unavailable to give her a review because it was horror for me, but not for her.
that bad, huh?
No, I wouldn't say bad. It's just your typical cookie cutter Pixar movie, man.
Fair enough.
Sad beginning, fun is in the middle, a lesson learned. Hey, the popcorn was phenomenal, though. It was on point this time.
Lowest opening for a Disney Pixar movie ever.
Yeah,
Really?
I heard about that. That's rough.
Wow.
Since,
Wow.
all right, real quick, if you might have saw this too, Phase, but take a guess on which one was the original, the one that just got unsetted by this one.
I don't remember.
By Pixar movie?
Yeah, Pixar movie.
Hmm.
Just throw one out.
Up.
I want to go with that Onward or whatever it was, that ogre movie that came out in 2020.
Just a guess, Phase?
I'm gonna go with Colonel as well. That's pretty niche because it can't be Up. That was very successful.
I don't know. So I don't even know if Up is a Pixar movie.
Just an opening now. Just an opening. Opening weekend.
Hmm.
Toy Story.
Oh
The
yeah,
original.
Huh.
right. That
It
makes
made
sense.
it made
But that-
32 million or something. But yeah, I
They
mean,
built over the next like 6 weeks when movies
yeah.
still stayed in theaters.
Yes, yes. And it's just opening weekend. But I just said, wow, that's it was pretty interesting to hear that.
The Toy Story sequels are still on top to this day.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the fact that there are so many movies that are coming to theaters now. Even my little shithole that's like right across the street. But, we've got a 10 screen over here, and we get some random stuff. I mean, we had Ugly Stepsister over there, which was great. We had Oddity over there. We've had a couple of. We had Dangerous Animals over there, recently. But the thing that irritates me is that some of these movies only last like a week, or not even in some cases. Like I wanted to go see The Life of Chuck, and gone.
One showing a day.
Yeah, it was. Well, no, I think it had 2 or 3 showings, but I've just been busy this week or that week that it came out. I've been kind of working on something new, and I just couldn't tear myself away from the computer long enough to go and see a movie that I didn't actually have to see, and it was gone like 5 days later, and I was pissed off. So now I got to wait for streaming. So, but anyway, yeah. The coin is, both sides of the coin on that one, I guess.
Right. No.
FaZe,
Yeah.
you're in the heat zone too, right? You're in the heat dome.
Yeah, I've been calling it the wet heat or the moist heat for certain people out there, to counter the dry heat jokes. It's been bad, man. It's been humid. It's been hot, but I believe Ziggy's been getting the worst of it.
Well,
Especially-
I mean, he has to be outside, but Colonel also
Right.
works in a hot ass factory, so
This is
Yeah.
true.
I doubt the
There's
AC.
no AC.
Yeah, I doubt the AC works in there if there is any.
There is no.
Right. Oof.
It's been 99 the last 2 days, but the index 104, 105 feels like, there's no respite, man. There's none.
Yeah.
And then I'm going into a magnifying glass to,
Right,
water
but
and stuff.
but see, I think I'd rather be in Zigzag's position, still outside, at least getting some breeze from time to time, rather than Colonel's, basically sitting in a oversized metallic lunchbox.
Bro,
Fucking
And like I said, with the humidity being tropical levels here, it's as soon as you walk through the door, man, it just hits you. It's sticky. Like my glasses go. Like,
I bought this contraption. It goes around your neck, has 2 fans on it, just to try to keep the sweat out of my eyes and shit.
Of course you did.
Oh my God.
You're that guy, huh?
Well, dude, that's the only thing I cannot tolerate is sweat in the eyes, man. And there's no headband or hat I can put on that'll stop it. It's nothing I can do. A few more days of this.
Grizzly knows some people don't like the word moist.
I know. We're aware.
I appreciate the word moist. I like to have a moist cake.
Oh,
You don't want dry chicken. You want some wet chicken. It's dry. You overcooked it.
okay.
Pudding's in the mix.
I think Colonel's trying to subvert the joke a little bit.
A little bit. But also, it hasn't been 15 minutes yet.
Right.
This is true.
He pissed me off with the Seattle Supersonics joke, so that
Oh, yeah.
that went straight out the window
Oh,
already.
That's
Oh.
fine.
Sensors were up there going, huh.
Woof.
Yeah, check.
Next.
They're done for tonight. Yep.
Oh man, let's see who's in the room tonight. We got Joshua in here. We got Lorena. We got Sue. What's up? We got Grizzly from the Vacation in the Land Down Under. That should be. You got another couple of weeks. It looks like. I think.
What is it, like 8 o'clock in the morning there or something?
Who knows what? Yeah, something like that. We got Paula here. We got Alex. We got Gory Tigers in the house. Let's see. Dave, Canadian Dave, popping in briefly.
He's in and out.
And let's see. There's BD Mags. He says still working.
Still working. He knows.
Man, brother.
He's got
He's-
a greenhouse out in
He's
his
in the
area.
greenhouse. And Alex says, don't forget the Connecticut Horror Fest in Hartford, September 20th through the 21st. I wish we could, man, but that's like the week after we're in New Mexico.
Or
Week before.
the week before.
Or the week before.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I was gonna say, wait a minute, man. But yeah, there's no way. we could.
Yeah, no way we can pull that this year.
Not this
especially.
time. Not this year anyway. Yeah.
But we will put it on the calendar and let you know if we can hit it in future years.
Who's the headliner, man?
Yeah, who's the big draw up that one? So, and Grizzly and Paula say 10 a.m., 10:12. No.
Wow.
All right.
Jeez.
A soft reminder that it's 12 minutes in and we still haven't really started talking about anything yet.
Yeah,
Generous.
I had shit to show off too. That's the problem.
We never do though. It always takes us like 20 minutes just to get all the
warm up.
hullabaloo out of the way.
Got a
Ziggy?
new shirt. Look at this
Yeah,
shirt.
Ziggy's got a new shirt. What else you got going on this week?
Yeah, it sucked, dude. I mean, it's a little battle to keep the plants alive at the greenhouse, fighting the heat, and so I'm basically going in at 6 a.m. pretty much to get started, and then by 9 it's already unbearable in these fucking greenhouses, man. It sucks so bad, but it is what it is. There's people doing worse things than that. What that is, it's just very uncomfortable. It's very taxing to your body to be in that kind of heat. For that long, you know. Just got a lot of water. I'm serious. I drank like 12 bottles of fucking water today, man.
Damn.
And I have peed like twice. That's the thing, dude. It's like that's the weird part, man.
Jeez, yeah,
Right
that's
out, you're sweating it right
You're
out.
sweating it out of your eyes.
right.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh man.
such ass. And then I jumped in the pool when I got here. I got out right. I was like, all right, cool. Maybe the chlorine. No, that's not. No. You don't want to, you got sweaty eyes. You don't want to jump into the chlorine
Ooh.
water. No. I'm seeing relatives and it's all just foggy shapes, spirits walking around. It sucks, man. You know,
I gotta go hit my pool sometime this summer too. I think it's open recently, so need
I
to go
put
and
a
check
half
that out.
hour on the top half because I had my shirts on over at the greenhouse. You can't be out there watering with no shirt on. It's just not, you know what I mean? Got to be cool. So it's a business, man. It's a store. It's a retail store, so you can't.
Dude, show a little bit of skin, man. You might sell a few more.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might draw some of them. Might draw some of those middle-aged milfs up in that bitch.
At least I balanced it somewhat for a half hour. I got a little bit of the tone going here, so I can throw the tank top on. That nice Phantasm tank I bought in Texas is going to get some fucking work now.
There you go. Show a little bit of side boob, man. Don't be afraid of it.
To all cougars in the Detroit area.
Yeah. Apologies in advance.
And FaZe, you got something new in the mail recently too, didn't you?
Yeah, just today I got some Never Hike Alone 2 perks. I don't even remember when we initially supported those. You know what I mean?
You got your perks?
Got your perks, did you? Craig, did you get your perks?
I got my perks. Yeah,
Craig got his perks.
Yeah, must be nice.
I showed mine off a couple of weeks ago. So
That's true.
We could obviously. I wouldn't care if I never got the fucking things. The fact that we got to help out Vinny with the movie, that's where we're coming from. But
of course,
as the days go on, when the perks don't show up and these guys have them, it does give a little room for playful teasing.
Yes. And we can spread this gag out for a couple more weeks.
No, mine will be here Tuesday apparently, so you'll be the last man standing.
See, Ziggy
was the last Jason to get killed. So.
Okay.
I don't bring ancient history here, but
hey, Colonel was the only one that was smart enough to trap the trail to the cabin that nobody thought of before he did that, and it helped him maintain that unkilled streak for a little bit longer.
And it glitched. So anyway, we won't talk about that part.
Hey, the glitches were part of the game that we loved, right? Speaking of Friday the 13th, though, dig this fucking shirt, man.
Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
That's Paul Bearer Press. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Nice.
I guess you can't have the full Friday the 13th logo anymore based on this new licensing deal, something like that. So, but I don't care if they have artwork like this. I'm back. I'll be buying shirts again.
Yeah.
In the Friday world.
Well, back to your topless greenhouse idea, too. Grizzly says he loves going to topless businesses.
Oh, my goodness.
And Lorena says, that's what I tell him. Tops off, sales up. Never listens to me.
Oh, my God.
I unbelieve.
And then BD says, I'm 100% on that. So,
well, there may be
maybe a hiring burst up in the Detroit area too.
You guys know my brother, though. He's a different cat when it comes to the world and how he perceives it. So, some guys are okay with that.
He's watching, right?
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
I've never said to him before. He knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into our topic, it's actually 28 years later, not 20, but that's a whole different story. Oh shit! You're just now noticing that, huh?
Oh well.
I said you didn't hear that when I said 28 years later, not 20 years.
I'm surprised I never noticed that between now and when I made the graphics. That's funny.
Whatever.
That's fine.
Whatever. That's that counts as strike 2, right?
Strike 2. No, wait. We've got a message from Danny Boyle.
Fuck you.
All right. Before we get into our topic of the night, though, we got to thank our members, our final girls and guys: Christy, C-Phase, Lorena, BD, Alex, Robert, and Tyrone. Our Crazy Ralphs, Bell's Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Morgan Crypt Horror. Their event's coming up in September. Get your tickets right meow, and let's have some fun up in New Mexico. Also, Raymond and the whole damn enchilada pod, thanks to them on that list as well. And then, of course, our camp counselors: Adam, Christy, Luke, Lou, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Chuck Schick, Dave, Carl, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ. If you would like to become a member and support the DCS, head on over to deathcurssociety.com, and that might help us afford to get the title of the movie that we're reviewing correct up at the top of the screen. Pick a tier that you like and join the fun. And of course, well, no, we're not even doing that tonight.
Well, hang on a second. How about now?
Oh, okay. There we go. And thanks to our associate producer, C-Phase, for fixing the title. I actually wondered if you were going to do that, but I wasn't going to be mad if you didn't.
I was not going to sit here looking at that 20 for 2 hours. That was going to piss me off. So, no, it was getting fixed.
There we go, folks. That's the exact reason right there that we have associate producer C-Phase in the motherfucking his house.
That's right.
Hooah!
Yep. Let's get into it, gang. It's the new from Danny Boyle, director, and Alex Garland, writer. They're back again for a sequel to 28 Days Later. This one, 28 years later. So, woo-wee. Initial thoughts and, anticipation going in, guys. You know what? Since he corrected it, let's start with Phase.
I wasn't really sure what to think going into this. I know I've seen Days, but I do not remember anything about it, and I did not get a chance to see it before the show either. I'm pretty sure I never saw Weeks, so I went into this basically blind. But I'm like, all right, it's a zombie movie. It's 28 years after the epidemic, whatever it is, came out. So,
well, the original movie starts like that. It's like a bunch of advocates go in and release these monkeys, and the guy's like, no, these monkeys have been treated with this shit. They'll fuck everything up. And they don't care. They let them out. And of course, instantly get taken out. And the rage gets you instantly. And that's that. So.
But yeah, I just, once Colonel said there were running zombies, I was a little skeptical, but I don't know. I didn't like that it was an hour and 55, so I went in kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it's a pretty long one. So
yeah.
So that's what you got.
Yeah, my anticipation was That's what I got.
All right, Colonel, how about you?
Let's flash back 28 years ago. It wasn't quite that long.
23.
Yeah, 23 years ago when I graduated high school and saw 28 Days Later, opening weekend. Not a fan. So here we are. I got our third movie in the trilogy. I'm like, okay, fuck. Then I seen the trailer. I'm like, all right, trailer's hyping up this movie fairly well. But then online, I kept seeing all the Rotten Tomato scores. I'm like, all right, I was interested before, but I'm really interested now to see how much they paid these critics for these scores, or if people are being legit. So my anticipation for the movie was probably about slightly above average, shockingly. Because I kept telling myself, these aren't running zombies. They're not zombies. They're not zombies. I went to the theater. They're not zombies.
We had this before. We discussed this about
No.
they're not zombies. Remember how we talked about it though, like being that it's like a virus like this. It's
Yes,
you know what
but
I mean?
if you remember, like I said, I hate running zombies.
Yes.
If I go and saying
Oh, yeah.
they're not zombies, I'm a little more open to the concept.
They're zombie-ish, zombie-like.
yeah, this sickness takes you out
Sure.
of cognitive thinking. You can't think clear anymore. You're gone. That
I
part
don't
of
think
your
they
brain
even
is-
call. I don't even think they called them zombies in the first two, at least. It's mentioned once in this movie.
Yeah.
Is it?
But
Mom
I
brings it back.
never really considered them zombies, but I get your argument. So,
There
but
is.
I think,
Kyra was a zombie. These things are not goddamn zombies.
yeah, I didn't know what that meant exactly. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I never really considered these zombies because it is a virus inspired thing, and it really kind of they don't die and then come back. It just kind of takes them.
It's cool, man. It's like it's the same kind of thing that the sickness was, or the sadness. The
The
sadness.
sadness, yeah.
Same type of deal there. Just a
Right.
virus that makes you, and heightens your cruelty and lowers your your couth and everything. So yeah, snapping fingers off. Sure, I love it. It's great.
Now wait a minute though. Train to Busan was probably one of the better zombie movies of the last 10 years, and those were running zombies.
Same thing. They're in
That's
that
the
realm.
exception to the rule.
The exception to the rule. All right.
That movie is really fucking good.
It
But-
really
but-
is.
We never really get an explanation either of what the cause of that was either. So,
Right.
in Busan,
Well, didn't they explore it in the prequel
Peninsula?
cartoon or whatever?
I never saw it if they did. So, yeah. My anticipation of this, by default on this year for the year, it became one of the highlights because of its history and pedigree. And to me, this made sense to do a legacy sequel on. Absolutely. It's like we talked about this 23 years ago when they did this. We could revisit this. Will they revisit it in 20 something years? Well, that'd be interesting. Yeah, it made sense to me. Absolutely made sense to me. So that kind of put my anticipation way higher than I normally go into these things with. So I went into it that way with this. So yeah, for sure. I as far as the zombies go, the zombies are they're like a secondary thing in this particular piece. So I mean, that didn't bother me that they're running. I know they're going to run. I know, we already know they're a chemical caused whatever virus zombie. So, or just you're being manipulated by other things. You just the drive, to live kind of. So, in that aspect, it is zombies. They have to eat. So I mean, but they're not technically dead. So
Right.
so yeah, I was a little higher than most going into this one.
I think I'm right there with you guys. Slightly above average. I'm not a huge fan of this series. I like the first one. I'll be honest. I watched them both again recently with my friends Erica and Travis, and they. I don't remember seeing the second one at all. Weeks.
It's so forgettable.
I don't remember that one at all. But I didn't hate this one as much as I thought I would based on everyone hating it. There were some elements of that I kind of dug. And one of Imogen Poots' early roles, I always thought I think she's a good actress. So, when she was in Weeks. But growing into this one, 20-something years later, really the only thing that kind of had me excited about this was the fact that it was Danny Boyle and Alex Garland returning, and with Cillian Murphy, behind the scenes, probably going to show up for something else later on in the trilogy, which I assume. Those were the three main things that were kind of drawing me in as anticipation for this. So slightly, like Colonel said, slightly above average. I would not have. I definitely wouldn't have put. Wouldn't have listed it in my top 5 probably most anticipated films of this year. I wouldn't have listed it last year, I don't think. So, but yeah, there you go. All right, initial thoughts then coming out of the theater. Start with Ziggy on this.
I thought they started really strong. I was into the simplicity of it. But then they make some odd choices, in my opinion, when it comes to this universe. And it took me out. This is one of those like, hey, and you turn around and the football already been thrown and it's there right when you turn to look. That's the kind of staggering pulls that I got out of this. I was like, oh, man. I mean, it was just like there was a few people in the audience that was like, whoo, oh, boy. But it's not a bad flick. I didn't hate it, but I mean, there's a couple things in there that it's going to cost them come at the end of this when it's time to score. But I did not hate this. It's for what it is. It's like the best parts of The Walking Dead, the foraging and stuff like that. I dig that. I like that. Exploring dangerous areas with dark corners and shadows and basements all over the place. Hell yeah, bring it on. We love it. Mm-hmm. But there's some problems with it for sure.
Agreed. And since you mentioned The Walking Dead, I'll say this. Rewatching 28 Days Later last week, amazing how much The Walking Dead kind of borrowed from that.
Frank was a fan.
Yeah, clearly.
28 Days Later, man.
Clearly. Sure. Well, and so was probably, the comic book creator, too. So, yeah. But, Colonel, what about you? Initial thoughts?
First initial thought, I don't get this joke out before anybody else can steal it. It's been a running joke, but it was an initial thought of mine during the movie. I wanted to say coming out 2025, year of the dong. It's here, folks. The dong getting its due in mainstream movies. Kudos to the dong.
What do you mean, Colonel?
I think you know what I mean. Let's just say it's interesting that they are some showers, not some growers over there. That's what I'm saying. But
oh my goodness,
I'm kind of on the same path as Ziggy. I thought the movie started really strong. It was enjoyable. Then there were a few moments that kind of made me do an eye roll. From about halfway on, it is going to hurt the score. I'll be honest. But I have seen worse movies this year by far.
Okay. So it started strong.
It started strong. Then
left you flaccid.
But it was impressive because it stayed strong. It just didn't stay up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fair enough. Well,
I'm just glad this movie wasn't in 3D. I would have been like,
right.
What the fuck?
Or what is that? What's that other? The real experience. Where the chair shakes and stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
Something flies out of the back.
They do call it the D box. I mean, so
is it the real D experience? Is that what?
Yeah,
oh my
man.
God! Great.
What?
I was just happy to learn they used a prosthetic because I was feeling sorry for that guy for a little bit. It's like, do they have a reduction for that, like they do for breast? Because that has to be hell on his knees.
Jesus Christ! All right, FaZe, take us out of this debauchery and bring us back to reality here.
A whiskey.
I'm going to bring us back to the Walking Dead thought for a second. Because I remember seeing trailers of this and seeing the father-son and the zombie survival setting, and my brain immediately went to Carl and Rick in Walking Dead. So it didn't really feel that way as much in the movie itself, but it was it's where my brain went at the time. As for my initial thoughts, I don't think I'm as disturbed by the things that you guys disliked about this. The thing that really distracted me was some of the camera work, which I'm going to be bitching about later. But other than that, I mean, it got weird. I liked how depressing it was at a certain point. Without spoiling.
At a certain point.
Damn it.
Well,
man.
The whole
There
damn
was
movie's depressing.
one particular point that was a pretty,
Listen,
but
I now
it was pretty
owe a smack. I owe a smack to those guys that did bring her back, and I owe a smack to Danny Boyle, dude. They're taking me places I don't want to fucking go, dude.
man.
And it hurts, man. It's upsetting at times in this movie.
Mhm.
I still need to see Bring Her Back.
Yes, you do.
But yeah, I was okay.
Okay.
I was okay with it walking out of the theater. I still don't know I'm going to score the damn thing when we get there, but we're not there yet, so it's okay.
I'm kind of in the same boat, honestly. I'm going to score this on the fly when we get to it, and I'm hoping this discussion kind of helps me iron out some thoughts because
It's paramount in this particular discussion.
oh yeah. But yeah, I'll jump on your depressing comment. Yeah, this is, and even Ziggy mentioning Bring Her Back, two of the most depressing movies of the year. And one scene in particular that you're talking about, we'll get to here in a little while, but just the overall tone of it is pretty dire, And the fact that this, crew is living on an island zone, basically, has no contact with the mainland much except to go and forage from time to time. And yeah, I really dug the tone, but I wasn't quite ready for it to hit as hard as it did in certain aspects, but it really did. So I walked out sad. I mean, literally. I mean, I just walked out like I talked to one of the guys at the theater and was just because he caught me on the way in. He was like, I want to get your thoughts on it before you leave. And I'm like, yeah, if you're here at 9:30 as I'm walking out, And he caught me and I was just like, Jesus, that's the most depressing thing I've seen in a while. He was like, yep. So, yeah, but I think I enjoyed it. But this is one of those, and I even told him this. I think I'm going to have to watch this at least one more time to give it a true score. And I feel like I'm almost going to need to be in that down, morose mood already going in to see it, rather than I'd had a pretty good day on Sunday, and walked in like ready to see a good movie, and walked out just so like but the fact that it affected me so much, I think is a solid way to experience a movie if you're into that kind of stuff.
Well, it's the fact that they're able to capture it like that and hit you with it.
Mhm.
That's, to me, I go back to it. That is, you're doing something right, man. You're in the right game, in my opinion.
Right.
If you can elicit that kind of response out of people.
There's one I can get to. Strange Love the Doctor. What's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Says, this is way better than The Walking Dead. It's a sweet blend of UK doom culture and the rightful death of traditions. Okay. And he says he's Scottish, so.
Yeah. And hey, I've got no problem with any of that stuff that's going on. And that's kind of what we're getting at. I mean, that what we're talking about is related to what he's talking about. But it's not that I have a problem with. None of that. I thought that was pretty cool,
Right. Well, and some of the things that Strangelove, one of the reasons why I haven't shown a couple of your other comments yet is because we haven't gotten to that part yet. So
Hang around, sir.
I'll try to remember to come back to those. So
Yeah, I can try to mark them for you.
this one especially, and this one because, dang it, where'd it go? Crap. Help me out, Phase. There it is. Never mind. Got it. Got it. All right. I want to come back to that one because I got that vibe too, like immediately. And I kind of like that, but we'll get into that. He also does say, honestly felt it was quite positive and a joyful, happy experience. Not even joking when you think about it. I see where you're going. I see what you're thinking or saying, but whew,
Well, because
I see there is a happiness to it, but you got to go through so many, like a couple of really dark places to get there. That may be the Scottish in you. I don't know. No offense.
Damn.
Just kidding.
or the Scotch.
Well, who wants to you ready to get into this? Let's get into Act 1.
Yeah,
let's
man,
start chatting about this.
Tearing this apart.
Hopefully you guys have seen this. Act 1 actually starts with a kind of a preamble or whatever you want to call it.
Cold open. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, cold open. Prologue.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just talk about what a terrible final vision to have. Like, if that's the last thing you see, how fucking awful is that?
In that first scene?
Yes. I was like, oh God, no, please no. Just because Teletubbies, man. I'll spoil it.
Oh, yeah.
I was sitting there, dude, and I was like, please.
It was funny. I'll be honest. I kind of chuckled.
If they're going to show the Tubbies, they got to show that fucking Satan baby in the sun. And they did.
They did.
And then its eyes bugged. It's the scariest.
Oh, it was good.
We're jumping ahead here. So
It's okay.
in 2002, during the initial outbreak of the Rage virus, a young boy named Jimmy escapes from his house after watching an episode of the Teletubbies with a bunch of other kids. And they're in the Scottish Highlands after being attacked by his rage-infected family. He escapes to a nearby church where he finds his father, the local vicar, praying. And believing the outbreak to be the day of judgment, the vicar interprets the virus as a harbinger of the end times. He gives Jimmy a crucifix necklace and urges him to flee before allowing himself to be overtaken by the infected, enabling Jimmy to escape. So let's talk about the little, cold open first. A powerful start.
Very.
Especially, we talked about this not too long ago. It's hard to show kids getting slaughtered in a horror movie,
Oh, sure.
but this one did it well.
Mhm.
Well, I love the fact that the kids are terrified watching this Teletubbies, and you can hear the banging around, and just like, just stay in. They open the door. Stay in here, kids. Everything's gonna be fine. Just stay here and be quiet. Then they shut it, and oh my God, you hear all the commotion going on outside, and then nothing.
Right. Well, and I like that the anxiety and the fear grew in those kids as the scene went on, and you could see him holding it together for a little bit, and then you could see him just
One break.
just collapsing on themselves. And I thought that was very well done. And the fact that you're able to get a bunch of kid actors to be able to pull that off, not bad. Colonel, jump in.
Yeah, no, it was very powerful. I mean, especially like you said, it was one of the better openings I've seen in a long time. We've been getting some pretty solid opening scenes this year as well. I've noticed. I'm like, I dug again the Teletubbies. I made the joke, even in my head. Yes, that's the last thing that you'd want to see dying. I sure as fuck it'll be for me. But like I said, the kids, like when they portrayed it, they must have been holding their parents at knife point because they don't have guns. But they must have been holding their parents at knife point behind the cameras, getting them to react like that, or pulling their hair real quick, then going action.
Yeah,
because it was a little too real. Like, it was impressive. And like Zach said, just the chaos behind it, because you know it's coming. as an audience member, I know you guys, is the anticipation, like, okay, when's that door going to open? And boy, when it does,
It's good.
Yeah.
it's so good.
And then little Jimmy going up to try to help, but realizes lost cause. So
Oh shit! Yep.
let's go.
He was behind the door. Is the only reason he got out. And the dumb fucks, because of rage, you just rage around. You're not thinking too clearly. So he just kind of snuck out, and they never saw him.
Right. FaZe, anything to add on that little prologue?
I don't know. The part that stuck out to me the most was right at the end of the prologue, where the boy was hiding underneath the bench, and he was like kind of praying to himself to that necklace that was given to him. I don't know. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah. Again,
good child acting.
Yeah. He's not bad at all. So, I think he gets overshadowed by the next kid actor that we get.
Oh yes, of course.
But that's
it's okay.
Part of the deal. That first couple of scenes, I guess you could say, interesting, and the fact that it ends in a church, there at the very beginning is one of those, always a powerful visual. Any kind of horror in a church is normally pretty good.
That looked like an old fucking church too, man.
Yeah.
Well, in Scotland, just them shattering through the stained glass windows. So
that was cool.
Great image, dude.
That was a cool visual. Yeah. All right. Then after that scene, we go to 28 years after the second outbreak, and the rage virus has been eradicated in continental Europe, and the British Isles remain under indefinite quarantine. A self-contained community of survivors lives in a village on Lindisfarne, an island connected to the mainland by a heavily fortified tidal causeway. Among the residents are Jamie, a scavenger, his wife, Isla, who suffers from an unexplained illness, and their 12-year-old son, Spike. Jamie takes Spike to the mainland to hunt as part of a coming-of-age ritual. They encounter a pack of infected led by an alpha, a mutated variant of the infected who are stronger and more intelligent. The pair take refuge in an abandoned cottage where they find an infected branded with the name Jimmy and see a distant bonfire. After the dilapidated cottage collapses, Jamie and Spike return to their island, narrowly escaping the alpha. Spike learns that the fire was lit by Dr. Ian Kelson, a reclusive survivor whom the villagers fear. According to rumors, Kelson has been seen burning bodies in what appears to be a ritualistic fashion. Spike becomes disillusioned with his father when he sees him having an affair with another woman, and he secretly plans to return to the mainland with his mother, hoping Kelson can provide treatment. And that kind of bleeds into Act 2 just briefly, but that should give us a good starting point to chat about.
Yeah.
Colonel this time?
All right. Dude, I really liked Act 1. It was really nice seeing Spike and his father bond, heading to the mainland, giving them some pointers. This is what we do. This is pretty much how you earn your keep. Then we're introduced to some new infected. I was calling them slugs because I have lack of a better name.
For the big ones?
Good.
For the big ones, yeah. Again, I thought it was pretty cool to see some evolution because obviously 20 years later, we all know viruses evolve to stay alive. Obviously, this virus has. It was just a really cool scene, man. Like I said, we've seen them before, but not like this. It's almost like they use the slowness to deceive their victims, which I really dug. I don't know how spoiler how much I want to spoil this. And then I really like them scavenging. Dad's still making light of everything before we saw the infected with Jimmy carved in him. They found a Frisbee, and he asked his son, you seen a Frisbee before? He's like, no. He's like, we're taking this. It was just nice to see that bonding. It put you in their world, and it did a damn good job of doing that.
Yeah, it did. I did like the dynamic of the community on the island.
Mm. But I like how they broke down the rules. You don't come back, we're not looking for you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, even telling him he's too young. The mother losing her shit, even though why aren't you going to school? All he's doing is, I'm going to school. He's going to school. He's going to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that got quite vulgar all of a sudden.
It did.
That was wild. But
Hey, over there, that's like saying bitch.
yeah, sure. But it was just hysterical because there hadn't been much
No.
up until that point, and then it's just like
That's true.
rapid fire. So Phase, what about you? Act 1 thoughts?
Yeah, I like the introduction of the camp. It's a lot of little details there, like that little sign next to the water pump that's like, "Hey, don't take forever. Don't wash yourself and leave."
Well, there were a lot of little signs like that, and then like the roles in the community that farmer,
don't take too much food. Only take what you
supplies
need.
are low.
supplies are low. Think about it. Yeah. Only take new gear if you absolutely need it. There were a lot of things like that.
A lot of stuff. I enjoyed that. Just it really made this community like feel believable, and that takes a lot of detail to make that work. Making the film. So I appreciated that. Then, of course, my favorite part of Act 1 would be, the boy and his father out in the wild fucking surviving. That was just good. Just the micromanaging from the father, the tense, moments, the, fighting the zombies here and there, whatever you want to call them, the infected. Just, I don't know. I really enjoyed Act 1. Like we said in the initial thoughts, this had a strong start.
Right. My thought about Act 1 was, and this is kind of a bonus point, I think, especially for as much as we complain about trailers. 90% of the trailer was Act 1.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah, and
it
honestly,
didn't give away anything.
That was honestly misleading, which is a good thing, because I was like, man, this is nothing like what the trailer made me believe.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. I was just like, because we got less than an hour in, and I had seen all the clips that I remember from the trailer, basically, except for like one or two. I was like, oh, okay, we still got over an hour left of this movie, and it's all going to be new. So, but like we've said, most trailers nowadays, Blumhouse, give way too much a fucking way, and this did not. So, point to the filmmakers for that. Ziggy, what about Act 1?
It ain't just them. Yeah, I just it's cool because I believe that if you were in a situation where you had no internet, you had none of this stuff, you had no access to Amazon or anything, you know what I mean? You would devolve into a simpler, more how things were back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a baker, you need a cobbler, you need a blacksmith, you know what I mean? All that stuff. It's Alexandria in a way, but better. I think done better. And the whole thing, the dynamic with him, he's got to learn he's going to be a hunter or forager as it is, but you got to learn how to kill these things. And there's some good action with the arrows striking things. It's for CGI. It's good for, it's more gore, I think, than any of the 28 days later so far.
All right. I'm gonna open the floor then
Yeah.
to Phase, because he
I complained about this last night.
he has an argument in retrospect of that.
Yes, sir.
The gore itself was okay. Just my issue with the arrows was the way the camera would go from here and then they shift over to here. And then, I don't know, it was very weirdly done. And it kept doing that every time an arrow was shot.
Time. It would go bullet time.
Yeah, like a video game sort of, but it didn't look that great. It didn't translate very well. It took me out of the action.
You haven't seen the other ones, though, so you'll see that The
I
only gore,
assumed it was a regular thing.
yeah, the only gore in the other two are really when the things are vomiting their black bile and stuff like that, and stuff like and the
That's
actual
fair.
things themselves. It's all right though. I didn't work for you. I appreciated just them going ahead and giving us a little bit of splatter for
Just
one.
leave the camera still. The
Yeah,
splatter
say
is
FaZe
fine.
isn't complaining about the gore.
Yeah.
He's complaining about the camera movement, which I agree with him. It
Mhm.
it kind of
Bullet
took you out
time's
of it
fucking
after a
dead,
while.
man.
Yeah, Bullet Time was big 20 years ago. Like
Yeah.
It's
I
28
appreciate-
years later, man.
I appreciate
It
the
wasn't
effort,
done
but
well.
I'm with FaZe, dude. It kind of took me out after a while. I was like,
It wasn't that
get
many.
it.
I mean, they after. I mean,
to me, it felt like every arrow that hit a infected
It
Bullet Time.
it did.
There,
Like,
there,
it,
yeah.
it got old quick.
It got
Oh.
annoying.
be careful here. But what did you think of how the Alpha was taking care of people?
Let's get to that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
I'd be careful.
hold that
thought.
question.
Yeah,
Okay.
hold that thought. I do want to make one comparison real quick. Crank and Ziggy, you're not going to get this, but Colonel, didn't the father and the son feel a little bit like Kratos and Atreus from God of War? Just a little.
Yes.
It was very similar, almost like they're kind of, there was clearly some inspiration there.
Yes. No, I thought the same thing. I'll be honest with
Yeah, I just wanted to point that.
you. I was waiting for him to say, boy. Just
yeah, right? Oh. Yeah,
Now, is that a video game? I assume.
Oh, yeah, God of War.
God of War. I knew what they meant actually.
I'm not a gamer.
I know.
I wasn't sure if you played it, Ziggy, so, you know.
I watched my friend.
Dude,
Him and his buddy would. It was a great watch because they were good at it. You know what I mean?
Dude, I had to make up a lie to one of my college professors when God of War first came out because I didn't go to class that day because I played that game an entire fucking day.
Oh, my God.
Game the fuck out, so good.
They're all great.
Good Lord. Grizzly's got a good comment here for part of this. I think some movies use the camera shake to make the audience feel like they are in the action. Yeah. But
Listen, this is better. The camera shaking here fits where it did not fit with
The Ritual.
the fucking ritual.
Yeah. I'll agree with you on that one. It made more sense in this universe than that one.
yeah, some movies it fits. Some movies it's just annoyingly done.
I felt very much dragged into this movie, though. I felt like I was in there with these people most of the time.
I noticed what FaZe is talking about during the movie, but it didn't really bother me as much. But I did at one point kind of say, "Okay, that's enough. We get it," you know.
Right.
But in the same respect, I'm going to go back to when I watched 28 Weeks Later last week, and it's a different filmmaker. It's not Danny Boyle. I can't remember who did it, but there are a couple of scenes, and there was one in particular where the guy's looking up at the sky, and it's just a shot of the sky, and that airplane is tracking across the sky, leaving the chemtrails, and all the conspiracy theorists just left the room. But I saw that scene and I was just like, now, I even said, I think to my friends, I was just like, come on now, don't try to do the same shot from the first movie and then call yourself a real filmmaker because you copied Danny Boyle's shot. That shot in that one pissed me off. This one, not so much, but it did get a little overdone. I'll leave it at that.
Somebody saw that effect in there and they were, that is really fucking cool. And then they got him to go, you know what? That is pretty cool. Again, do it again.
Oh, hey, that is pretty cool. I think I'll do it again.
I'm just saying somebody played Max Payne growing up.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Punisher, man. Punisher did the same thing. That one, the graphic one, the really graphic Punisher game.
Well, you're talking about the movie. I'm talking about Max Payne, the game, not the movie.
Yeah, the games. Yeah, video games.
Strange Love's talking about the bullet time, and he says, made me think of the way you remember violence in real life. Blurry yet graphic.
Oh yeah, it almost looked like it had water beads or something on the camera or something. On the that's good. I like that take.
I have one more complaint about Act 1 I want to make.
Get in there.
So they went out foraging, and they ended up getting home sort of late to begin with. There's a whole run through the water about like maybe shin high. But what did they come home with? A Frisbee? And what else?
Oh,
Maybe the kid brought that silverware, but otherwise they didn't bring shit.
Dad told him to leave it. Literally just the Frisbee.
They went back with the Frisbee and partied their asses off.
Yeah, but dude, that was such a beautiful shot. Them getting there, running from the Alpha, because like I say, you didn't have the light pollution, so you had like the Northern Lights, and you can see the Milky Way. And I just thought it was a great fucking shot, dude.
Right.
Oh, you talking about when they're going over the causeway?
Yeah, when they're run. Yeah.
Certainly, yeah. It's just, we could have found some Cheez-Its or something. Just I don't know anything.
Cheez-Its 28 years later.
I don't know. It's fucking some kind of food, canned food, just anything like.
I would say a Twinkie, but we know Europe has way better food standards than America. So
yeah, I was gonna say
over there.
I was gonna say this isn't Zombieland. The Twinkie's not gonna last for more than like 4 years over in Britain.
That's a good point. I don't know. It just seemed like such a worthless foraging trip. And he tossed the Frisbee to somebody like, "Hey, look what I found! The only fucking thing that I brought."
It's a toy and a plate.
I think they could have used that Frisbee a little bit more to like either show in the community or kind of show them going back, frolicking through the mainland, throwing it back and forth for a little bit until something happens. But
maybe, but I mean, it was all about him blowing up the kid. Oh my God, he's ready. He went right out. He took no shit from these guys, man.
Yeah. What'd you think? What'd you think of that scene? The whole party scene where they came back.
It was a little. I mean, it was. It was a hoedown. It was a party, but they gave the kid a lot of alcohol. It was
not even
one of those parties.
The kid was going like that, but that didn't happen. And they was like, they didn't give a fuck, man. They were doing a party, and they just whatever the reason was. But I mean, that was important still, even though he was rejecting it. It was still bringing him to his job, his career within the community, and I thought that was cool.
I love the scene because he was being a dad. Oh, you wouldn't believe what my boy did, just hyping him up. And it's good for the community. They're partying. They need something to celebrate. And it's really a rite of passage into manhood, essentially, because even before they go out, they're like, he's a little young. We usually start him at 15.
Right.
Oh, no, he's ready. He's ready. I just really liked it, man.
He probably hit too many bullseyes in the archery practice, and then like, well, fuck it. You're coming out early.
And then.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting scene, but I don't know. I just thought they may have overdone it just a touch, but also, this is a big deal for that group, and I kind of like that the dad was like, my son scored 18 goals in 5 minutes, that kind of shit.
Yeah. No, I was over the top, he's like, yeah.
It was like their version of the Al Bundy quarterback story,
in touchdown in the state championship.
But he's going, no, Dad, that ain't what happened. He's like, yeah, let me tell you what happened. You're like, yeah, they didn't care. It didn't matter. Now I was smiling that whole scene.
He's like, drink your whiskey and shut the fuck up.
Right.
Go with it. Just go,
Oh, Lord. But during that scene, we also see the beginnings of the breakdown of the father-son relationship.
Right.
When he sees the dad trolling off with Rosie or whatever her name was.
This is modern times. So, hey, I know they don't have internet, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the summer's eve policy is. Colonel,
oh my God,
you're the expert here, man. So,
dude, at that point,
Scuba Steve,
it's Scuba Steve. You just want to deal with it. I mean, you're literally shut off from the rest of the world. Like the rest of the world's still moving. You're not.
You could have foraged out there. They might have got a box. You know what I'm saying? Or
maybe they let them spend a little more time under the little water shower. They didn't rush them as much as the sign next to it normally said.
Like one night a month. All right, go wash up, both of you. Enjoy the night. it's going to be stinky and funky the rest of the month. Like,
Don't smell like a scuba Steve. Scrub that beeve.
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
I was going that way, but I didn't want to take that joke. That's even I was not willing to cross that line.
You drew the line. You're drawing the line.
So I took it to you, and
Beaver.
I handed you the baton. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were gonna abstain from the race, Colonel.
Oh my
Jeez, I
goodness.
didn't realize you were gonna puss out so bad.
I did post out on that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Frank took us there. He handed me the baton. He took us outside.
I just couldn't do it.
That's why we need everybody here, folks.
I'm just saying,
we can get there together.
The son should have followed his dad, man. His dad might be like, want to get in on this?
He probably would have got a little action there just based on what this whole weekend
You
was
think you're a
about.
man? You think you're a man now? Let's see what you can do.
That's so fucked up.
Let me teach you something. Spell the alphabet with your tongue. Come on
That's
now.
right. Yep.
We should probably move on to Act 2, huh?
All right, lean back.
God, Crank.
Not what I'm
Face slid him
drinking.
right in there, didn't he?
Not what I'm drinking.
Yep. Now lean
Jesus.
back, Spike. Lean back. Why,
Ah.
Dad? Because look at the stars. Yeah.
All right. Oh, he's already put the. He's already.
I
put
hope
He's like,
yeah.
Let's go. Let's fucking go to Act 2.
Let's just move on.
I started to look at the graphic and it was already highlighted. All right. So after Spike sees his dad, you know, blah blah blah, with the new girl,
He doesn't
He's one-
believe anything about him now. He's
right? He kind of
Fuck you.
shoves dad away.
I'm done. I'm done
Yeah.
with you.
Well, dude, because there's the teacher, man. He was hot for teacher, and Dad got to it first.
I think the Scuba Steve might have been wafting out there, and he was just like, I gotta go.
Yeah, you're not hiding it.
Yeah. He came in and was all, my kids.
Oh my God.
Instead of skull and crossbones, he's got bone, fucking fish bones.
The fish. Like the Family Guy bit. Fucking fish coming on the mouth.
All right. So in
all
Act
right,
2,
Yeah.
in Act 2.
Anyway.
At the same time that they are returning back to the mainland, Spike and Isla, his mom, hoping to get some treatment from Kelson for her mystery illness, a Swedish NATO soldier, Eric, and his unit are forced ashore after their patrol boat sinks. The infected overwhelm the unit, and Eric becomes the sole survivor. He encounters Spike and Isla, rescues them from another pack of infected, and joins their search for Kelson. And Eric is the only one to ever call them zombies.
Mhm.
I remember him saying it once during this area. The group finds, oh boy, get ready, Ziggy. The group finds a pregnant infected woman whom Isla helps give birth to an uninfected infant. Now, should I stop there and we just talk about that? Or should I keep going and then we'll come back to it?
Just keep going.
All right. Eric kills the mother and prepares to kill the child, but an alpha intervenes and decapitates him. The alpha chases, and there's where we could talk about what you were talking about also, Colonel. Yeah. No, not that. Not that.
Oh,
The decapitation. Yeah. So
I don't have
The-
that drop anymore that says, what a dick.
the alpha chases Spike and Isla until Kelson appears and subdues it with a morphine-laced blow dart. He leads Spike, Isla, and the infant to his sanctuary, which is a temple constructed from sterilized bones of the bodies, which he describes as his memento mori. He cleans and adds Eric's skull to the temple. I'm going to stop there. We're not all the way through Act 2, but I'm going to stop there because...
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. So, yeah. Ziggy... Actually, Colonel brought up the decapitations first. So I'm going to start with him. You had something to add about that. The Alpha's decapitation method.
Yes.
Yeah, well, technically Zag brought it up, but I'll start with this one because it was really fucking cool. I mean, granted, I've seen it back in 1991 with Mortal Kombat. That was
And?
that was in 16-bit graphics. This looked much better.
And Predator.
And Predator,
Multiple
yes.
Predators,
I honestly admit, I thought Sub-Zero, to be honest with you. I went Sub-Zero, not Predator. But dude, it was a nice fucking touch because he didn't give a shit. If they were hunting, human or not, you were getting your fucking head ripped off. And this was cool as shit. It was probably my favorite effect from the movie. Like, I appreciate the amount of blood in it. Granted, I didn't think it was overall too gory. But man, just the fucking decapitations were the shit.
That was a pretty impressive thing, and you got to see it a few times.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just one of those one and done kind of things, which was kind of cool. So, do we have any issues with these alphas at all besides the fact that they're just somehow smarter and somehow stronger than your typical rage infected person?
I'm going to say Colonel said it. Viruses evolve to stay alive. And I'm going to just accept that. Because if I go any further, I'm just going to get pissed off because it became Left 4 Dead, kind of. Did it not?
You guys keep talking about video games, and I have no idea what's going on. So
This is inspired by like 20 fucking video games, dude.
Yeah.
It's not.
Dude, it's inspired by. I would fuck Resident Evil. I mean,
It's that too, absolutely.
I mean, it's pretty par for the course at this point, even for zombie movies, for them to evolve starting in the 90s.
The Mob and I compared it to Last of Us, for fuck's sake. I mean, everything.
Well, The Last of Us
Everything.
that's in there. That whole son and father dynamic brings The Last of Us a little bit. There's a sniff for sure.
Yeah, but no, like I said, it didn't bother me. I enjoyed it because that's the natural progression of things. And like I said, in order for the virus to live on, it has to mutate. And I just thought it was funny. You got both. You got the slow, fat, sluggish ones, and you got these super fast, athletic ones that are just pure fucking muscle. It was pretty cool seeing the difference because even like the slow ones were like, oh shit, let me crawl over here, get the fuck out of the way. I like the contrast. It gave it a new level of fear, if you will.
And an alpha can send a pack of like freshly turned, ragers at you. You know what I mean? They're like he kind of directed them a couple of times. Packs of them.
I don't necessarily mind the alphas. I can get on board with, advanced or evolving viruses and that, especially after 28 years. I can fall in line with that. Why are they all naked?
Yeah.
They weren't. The pregnant one made a robe out of a hospital gown or some shit. Unless she turned in it, I don't know.
But why is this? Now we've seen naked zombies before.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not zombies necessarily, but we've seen naked creatures like this before. But it's always been like one or two way in the background. Why are all of these motherfuckers naked?
Let's just say
makes people laugh.
They got when they were attacked. They get ripped, they get bit. You know what I'm saying? And it probably just fell off. How long?
But they're not attacking. They're not attacking each other.
Which is, I'll save that for later.
I'm just saying they're probably getting stripped as they're attacked. You know what I mean? And then they turn in seconds. So
I'm with Crank though. It doesn't make sense because I highly doubt it extends the lifespan. It probably shortens it.
I think it's just comedic
I feel like
relief.
it was. Well, I wouldn't even go so far as comedic relief. I think it was just more of a shock factor.
Sure.
Let's have them all naked. I can understand tattered clothing and stuff like that.
23 years.
Or Or show me one. Show me one that still has a few clothes on that gets ripped away. Cool.
I thought, didn't we see that? I could have sworn there were some in there that some had pieces of clothing on. Yeah, because the one for sure had clothing on. Pregnant one.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, so it said she was wearing like a hospital gown. But.
Yeah, but and see, that doesn't even really seem to make that much sense. Because so how long has she been a zombie?
It couldn't have been long. That was kind of
infected.
like that's what I was saying. It couldn't have been long.
But was she on the mainland in a hospital gown?
The fuck happened, man? There's a lot of issues. This is where shit starts going awry with this story.
Or did she come over to the mainland in a hospital gown and get turned?
Was she already pregnant? I mean, she probably had to.
Maybe she was. They had their little underground little bunker somewhere. They were fine, and they got sniffed out. They didn't make it anymore. They're done. They got hit. They got discovered. Whatever it was. There's a million ways to look at it. I mean, it's.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with them being naked didn't bother me. To me, it just made sense.
Sure.
23 years later, I don't know. I don't have enough of the data to know where this is from. If this has been neglected for 23 years, anything that's new, clothes aren't no longer a thing. They don't give a fuck.
I just thought it was an odd choice for the filmmakers.
One of many. But I get some people's thoughts out there. Here's a good one, though. Strangelove has. I think the evolution of the infected is practical, as is the nudity. Why would they bother with clothing themselves? I'm not saying they would clothe themselves. I'm saying that when they turn, they would, I would assume, have clothes on. And if we're talking about some of these people are relatively newly, freshly turned, such as hospital gown, pregnant woman, then they would still have shreds at least, or, some clothing would be nearly intact, I would think. Let me finish his comment, though. It's like any wild animals. They become packs. They gravitate to what works primally. Yeah, okay, yeah. But, I mean, it felt like an odd choice creatively, and it didn't work for me for some reason. So, anybody else jump in?
I'll say before you guys complain about it, just rip it apart. Talking about are we going to spoil, basically? Like,
where are you going somewhere new?
Not really. I'm talking about the birthing.
Oh.
I don't know. Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to? We already talked about the baby being born. So,
Well, we haven't gone into it, and Ziggy's got a rant about that. So
I was thinking about that. I just wanted to mention. Fuck it, Ziggy, go ahead. I'll mention after.
Jump in, Ziggy.
So, right. When you see the pregnant infected, you can't help but go, oh shit, that's coming back. You're gonna see this again. And sure enough, as Spike and his mom are walking, and Eric, it's a train. It's a crash train, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a train. She hears someone screaming. Mom does. So she gets on the train, and here's the pregnant rager, but she's kind of incapacitated because she's in the middle of childbirth. So obviously a horrible pain. So mom kind of kneels down right in front of her. Now, mind you, these things spit one drop of any bodily fluid and you're raged. That's it. You're out. No coming back.
Well, it's got to get
inside your body.
Yeah,
she took a arrow shrapnel like to the forehead and had to get quickly mopped off. And I thought that was going to be something too. But so she just kneels in front of this raging pregnant woman, and puts her hands up. And then for the first time in the history of the Danny Boyle 28 Days Later universe, this thing calms down and matches her with the hands.
Kind of calmed down. I don't know.
Come on. It goes against
their
the
connection
whole...
is mothers.
Dude, come on. The rage, though, the rage takes you away. It's gone. I guess if you want to call it instinct, motherly instinct, I mean, I think that's very cheap, but I mean...
That was my argument before the show.
I know, but...
And I'm not alone.
The fact that just the way that they did it with her stopping like that, like, oh, she's helping me. Like, I picture like a wounded animal would. They don't even do that. If you're getting them out of a trap, they're still biting the shit out of you and stuff, man. It's just, it did not work for me like that. I just can't make it that. I can't boil it down that simple. I just can't.
I'm not alone with my argument, though.
Okay, I'm not saying you guys are wrong.
Here we go. Lorena says, no. You needed the Prego Infectorino to show that there's still some humanity left in the infected.
What are you, Ned Flanders now with the Infectorino?
Oh, no, Reno.
I don't know.
I agree with her,
then,
though.
And Strangelove says the same thing. As for the pregnancy thing, I thought it was cool. Giving birth became her prime objective, overpowering her need to spread the virus in that moment.
I think it goes totally against what they established the rage as to this point.
Okay. Having not seen the first couple films or not remembering the first one in my case, it didn't bother me like that. I didn't. It just showed me that, hey, there is some humanity in these infected people. So all these people that we've killed thus far, it's like, oh, they're not just mindless zombies like we thought they were.
I thought it was just, and I'm not saying it explains it or it excuses it, because I get your point, Ziggy, in a way. But I do think it's just that motherly instinct that, like, you get.
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard the stories. You've heard those stories about women stuck in an elevator giving birth all on their own, just figuring it out, not knowing a fucking thing about what they are supposed to do except for what they've seen on, General Hospital and Grey's Anatomy and shit.
It's natural. People have been giving birth since before education, before anything, and it's.
I get it, but
animals do it.
What they've established with the rage virus, this hasn't happened. There's a heavy scene in the first one where the guy catches just one drip and in his eye, and he has to quickly say goodbye to his, people.
Daughter.
And
sure.
it rips your fucking heart out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't there. He knew it. He knew it. They knew it. That compassion, all that is gone with the rage. Now, I guess maybe we'll explore this in the other two movies. Maybe the rage diluted a bit, and there is still some faculties survived. Okay, let's explore that a bit. But just to hit me over the head like that after what I perceived the rage as, it did not work for me.
All right. Colonel?
You guys good? No.
Damn, man.
You guys fucking done over there yet?
You guys know where I stand. It's been well documented where I stand on zombie babies, okay? This is a case where I didn't mind it as much. Because I'm with these guys. It was nature. It was that motherly instinct. I mean, you've seen videos of wild animals.
Oh, yeah.
Going to people for help. No, you had your time.
I know. I forgot to say something, though. That is important.
Go ahead.
Just quickly. One drop of that shit kills you or rages you. And all that. Now, they say, yes, the placenta is a wonderful thing. A miracle sack. But in this particular case, I just don't think it did not work. Unless she was not turned until the day before or something, then maybe I could buy this a little bit.
I don't know, man. Placenta protects against HIV. Like, it protects against a lot, brother. Like, it's tough.
Yeah, it's the rage though phase.
Next,
Yeah, okay. I don't know. It's the rage.
new available on our website store, the Miracle Sack,
I mean, according to
a
this
reusable
movie,
grocery bag.
oh my god! According to this movie, the placenta is strong enough.
And hey, we don't know. We got to wait and see where this goes. Maybe we'll have a delayed effect.
Okay. I mean,
there's a million ways they could go with this.
Clearly a sequel happening because it's big.
Yes.
Not to spoil too much here, but should we just go in there? I mean, Colonel, what needs to? I'm so sorry, Colonel. Go ahead.
Colonel. It really doesn't fucking matter. I'm going to say I need to see more story behind the baby. I see it as the antivirus, the cure. That's what we're going to get to.
Interesting.
That is good. That's pretty good. I didn't consider that, Colonel. That was worth the wait, buddy.
At least from The Last of Us.
I fucking hope so. Because like I said, I had a nice rant and it's gone. Like it's just gone.
Well, I'm sorry, mine bled over, but I mean, damn it, dude.
You guys are fine. Fuck it.
You've witnessed a childbirth. I've witnessed a childbirth, dude. You've seen this shit. There's no fucking way. Because once that placenta is burst, they're still covered in the shit.
Dude, I've had to dodge the shit. Talking about fucking bullet mode. I had to be like,
it's like the fucking thing. The thing went, blah!
But like you said, the placenta is pretty magical fucking thing. Like it's again, pretty sure the baby's going to be in the cure to the virus. I didn't have as big of a gripe about this as I did, if you remember, Army of the Dead when we had our zombie baby. Oh. And then that led me to go on a fucking rant about the zombie baby from the Dawn of the Dead remake. I hate zombie babies. It's only worked twice for me. Dead Alive, which we'll make another reference towards the end of this, so do not take that from me. Hint. And 2, 28 years later, I can live with it.
But not Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead?
No, fuck that, dude. That was dumb as shit.
I will give you
that movie. Zombie Tigers, get the fuck out of here.
This isn't as dumb as that.
Zombie Tigers. I remember the rant that you had on that review was excellent.
I commented on the video. Oh, I had no problem. Zombie Tigers kind of cool.
There was just contact with bodily fluid outside of the placenta that it was feeding on coming out.
And I understand what you're saying, Zach. I'm not totally arguing. You're right. It's a fucking plot hole. It is a clear plot hole.
Sure.
I guess I can boil it right down to that part of it. I mean, I can probably even get by with the motherly instincts shit. But that end right there when it comes out, dude, man, it's a fucking murder scene, man.
Oh, you guys.
Okay.
We've kicked the hornet's nest.
Oh, you stirred up some shit in the comments, but I can't even cover half of it.
You guys can email me directly. I'll answer.
Yeah. So, zombie babies. Well, not a zombie baby, but a healthy baby delivered by
clear
from
eye.
a zombie. Yeah,
looks
but
good.
the military guy Eric, he wants to just cap it.
Dude, he's trying to get back to tender, dude. Which I want to backtrack a little bit, just to help his discussion with Spike. This movie really took you out of the fact that it's modern day, and it's modern day everywhere but the British Isle. Like, it's like, holy shit, like you forget. It literally takes you out.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed that.
Well, he even had, I want to get to this scene because Eric even has like a cell phone, and I love the scene where he shows his fiance to Spike, and Spike's like, "What's wrong with her?
What's wrong with her face?
What's wrong with her face?" And he's like, "What do you mean? What's wrong with her face? She's beautiful." And he goes, "Oh, I know. I see what it is. Does she have an allergy or something? Because her lips are really big."
That was good.
That was hysterical, dude.
I was cackling.
And it came out of nowhere.
That was levity. That was unnecessary, but absolutely appreciated.
Yeah. Oh no, it was necessary after some of the shit that we had already seen and what we're getting ready to be thrown into. So
The second she appeared on screen, my mom and I are both like, ugh. And we laughed to each other.
I thought that was great. I thought that was wonderful. And that might be one of my favorite moments of the movie.
Just showed you how good that kid was.
Yeah. Again, bringing it back to Spike as an actor, he was just great. All right, let's move on with a little bit more of Act 2. So part of this is going to turn into Act 3, I think, but we'll see. After examining Isla, Kelson deduces that she has terminal cancer, and at her request, he incapacitates Spike and then euthanizes her with another morphine dart. A few minutes later, he presents her clean skull to Spike and tells him to put it on the temple wherever he wants it, and he climbs to the top of the temple and places it there as a memorial. This is the scene that FaZe, I'm sure, was talking about as the majorly depressing one.
The key depressing scene, sure.
So I'll start with you on this.
Honestly, not quite that scene. The most depressing scene for me was when the doctor diagnoses the mom and the boy realizes that all of his efforts were for nothing and he just crumbles.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. All this.
Right. The whole thing, certainly. Yes.
Yeah.
All together. Yeah, absolutely. I was so into that. I like I said, I love depressing shit. And it was borderlining the cheesiness, especially with him climbing to the top and putting the skull at the very top, but it still worked for me. It kept the cheese just low enough. It didn't go any further than that. So it worked. I like that part.
Yeah, again, super powerful.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it a little bit more here in a minute, but Ziggy, what do you got on this?
Yeah, dude, this is what I mean. This is the scenes that broke us, like Bring Her Back. You know, same way. It's just the source of it is so fucking horrible, but delivered so perfectly. And you know, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking about Colonel. I was thinking about my uncle. You know, I have survivors in my family with cancer and stuff like that. So it was really, really, really heavy for me. So, and yeah, I mean, what can you say? They delivered again, but it's just absolutely, you know, there was some guy weeping behind me, man. He lost it all the way. So,
I wasn't necessarily crying, but I was teary-eyed.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was wiping away the corners quite a bit. So, Colonel?
It's what it's made to do, you know. Yeah.
I'm so done with the sad. Honestly, it was sad, but I'm like, fuck again. Yeah, it did its job. I'll be honest. I don't think it depressed me as much as did you guys. Again, it was sad. I felt for Spike. I understood where he's coming from. Well, I also saw it from his mother's aspect as well. Like, fuck it, I'm gone anyway. Let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
She had some advanced symptoms happening throughout the movie.
Like I said, the part that fucked with me is just her memory. Because I felt was dealing with some memory issues back in December, and so that part I think fucked with me the most. But at this point, by the time where they got it done, I was like sad, but I was happy, if that makes sense. She's not suffering anymore. She's done.
Yeah,
right.
I mean that this scene or this segment of Act 2 kind of, now granted, it's been almost 25 years or so, or a little over 25 years actually. No, about 25 years since I lost my mom, and that this took me right back there, just for a little bit, you know. But
sure,
It wasn't as long as the other experience, I don't think, man. But it's just as fucking hit just as hard, though. I thought.
Well, and man, when he flames up Eric's head, and gives it to Spike, and gives it to Spike and says, hey, put it on the temple,
Yeah. Pick a spot.
As soon as that happened, I was like, fuck.
Yep, here we go.
Fuck. Like, don't do this to the mom. Please don't do this to the mom. Do it in the next movie. I'm not ready for this right now. I was already like in defensive mode.
Yeah.
And man, did it just hit so heavy. And
Good though.
very good.
It's Ralph Fiennes too. You know, I mean,
Yeah, Rafe.
what?
Rafe
Fiennes. Oh, Rafe Fiennes. And he's. I mean, ever since he started doing these things like The Menu, and
Oh God,
he's
yeah.
just been great in everything we've seen him in, and this is no exception, man. I really hope they expand him as we go here in the story.
Well, I think the next movie is primarily about him.
The Bone Tower, yes, I think it's
the Bone Temple.
Bone Temple, yes.
The Memento Mori.
Let me see if there were a couple here. FaZe, you got anything to add on that?
No, I think I'm good there. I'm surprised. Wouldn't that be Act 3 though, or is Act 3 just kind of short here?
Yeah,
Act 3 is, heading back basically.
Yeah, but there's not much of that, if I remember.
No.
And then the
finale.
Okay,
Let's
well,
look
I
at
just
it.
got something I want to add to Act 2 before we move on
okay.
to the comments. Where the fuck is he getting all this iodine from? Like,
That's a good point.
28 years later, man, like, where's the secret fucking stash? I just thought it was hilarious. He was the virus doesn't like iodine. No shit. Like, I just thought it was funny.
That is a good point. He didn't like explain it or anything.
Clay or something, not fucking iodine.
I mean, yeah,
That
good
makes
point.
sense.
That dodged my thoughts.
I mean, good point. I mean, but how do they still have almost anything that's not just naturally grown by this point?
you can make iodine, I think.
Yeah, but iodine, like, it's like he won a fucking lifetime supply of iodine and cashed in before shit hit the fan. Like, did he have a fucking contract with Pfizer or some shit? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he
I don't
had.
remember how to make iodine.
Just saying. I just thought it was funny. I like to take myself out of movies after a while and just, that's weird, and then get right back in. It's so.
I don't know if you guys know
by now.
if you remember what iodine smells like, but he had to have stung. Oh my god!
He probably smelled better than the pussy. I'm just joking. And the dick.
I'm gonna change subjects immediately. We've talked a little bit about Spike's acting, but we haven't talked a whole lot about the mom's acting. Isla, I thought she did great as well.
Yeah.
Sad.
It was too believable. It was too believable. Yeah. It was too good.
I mean, Colonel mentioned, it kind of affected him, just the lack of, the memory flop. So, I mean, clearly it was good there, but I mean, I thought she was excellent, like throughout the movie. That first outrage scene of hers might have been a little over the top a bit. He's not going to school, but that part. But 90% of the rest of it was solid and on point.
I don't think there was anybody.
I liked how she would, when they spent the night at the church, they camped out, and you had one of the slugs coming through, and it flashed back to where she went back to her normal self. She was a fucking badass. Took it out, right. And wake up in the morning, she's like, "What happened?" Like, totally went back to just not being there.
Yeah, but then we see it. Yeah, that was good.
He made a face at her, and she made, you know what I mean? They had a little bonding moment there and stuff. I mean, it just all added, made it so good, and made it hurt so much more when.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
All right, here's a couple comments here. Lorena says, I felt bad for the son, so bad. Not the mom. The mom was awesome. Strangelove says, Colonel, I agree. It was powerful, but it was positive and empowering. Interesting look at it. I think they're talking about the mom. Yeah.
Oh, the accepting it and just,
And then
yeah.
they also say, I thought all the Doc stuff was brilliant. I found it serious, but not without its beauty.
He's so good, man.
He's good in anything,
I
man.
could do anything, I think, and it would be like, wow, yeah. But just compassion. He was so full of it for, for Spike, like I said, I look forward to seeing more of him. I look forward to it.
All right. Any ads on here? Isla was great. My dad has dementia, and that actress reminded me of those waves of lucidity. Then on to Crazy Town. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Kick us down to Act 3, and let's wrap this big dog up.
Oh, yeah. We're running late.
I don't know what I did that for. No, we're about on time with all four of us here.
I suppose.
There's not a whole lot to talk about in Act 4.
No.
Or Act 3. Act 4.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Act 4. The post-credit scene.
All right. So, there we go. Okay. Following another confrontation with the Alpha, Spike and Kelson manage to escape, and then Kelson encourages Spike to return home. Spike returns to the island alone and leaves the infant, who he names Isla, at the village gate. He includes a note addressed to his dad explaining the child's origins and stating that he will return when ready. Realizing Spike has gone back to the mainland alone, Jamie attempts to go after him but is blocked by the rising tide. Then, 28 days later in the movie, in this movie, while evading a group of infected on the mainland, Spike is rescued by a gang styled after Jimmy Savile. I'll get to who that is here in a moment.
I see the mixed opinions already.
It's Monty Python and the lords that used to say knights that say knee.
Their leader is revealed to be an adult Jimmy wearing the upside-down crucifix his father gave him from the the preamble.
Well, he turned it upside down.
Right. During the initial outbreak. So there's a fight scene between these Jimmies and some infected where they save Spike. And then it ends kind of alluding to the fact that Spike is going to go along with them at least for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So what did we initially think of this group? Ziggy, you said something. What did you say?
Monty Python and the knights who say knee.
Okay.
No. I mean, this reminded me of when The Walking Dead became less watchable. We'll see where it goes with this, but I'm intrigued by the character because of the anti-Catholic message that they keep subtly putting out there. What's all that about? And when the kid was running, he was running the same way. So we need to figure out who these people are, and then we'll have a better opinion. But I mean, it was cool that they're very skilled at taking out the infected.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be neat, I guess. We'll get some cool, stylish violence.
Colonel.
Again, I'm kind of with Zag. I'm holding off on a full-blown opinion. But first impression of it, I was waiting for them to shout, I kick ass for the devil instead of the Lord. I was like, man, I seen this in fucking Dead Alive. I was like, seriously, that was my eye roll. I was like, what the fuck? That's literally verbally what I said. Eye roll, what the fuck?
I'm so glad I didn't say that, brother, because I didn't think that's what you were going to say.
I just,
yeah.
Again, I need more information to give a definite answer. But initial thought, again, I'm here to kick ass for the Lord. Is what again.
I kick ass for the Lord.
Yeah.
They weren't just kicking ass and killing the zombies. My mom pointed out, they were fucking torturing the infected.
Yeah.
And at
Yeah,
least
but
one
I'm
I'm
just saying how they were introduced, the fucking moves they were doing. It had the fucking Dead Alive Peter Jackson vibes. I was like,
Yeah. 4-hit
I just thought it
combos.
was unnecessary for this story. The story was so serious, even when it had its comedy. It was, to me, it was still reality-based comedy to this world. Then I get that. What?
My buddy at the theater compared them, called them like the demented Teletubby gang, because they all had like different colored tracksuits too that kind of matched the Teletubby colors. And since that's what he grew up watching, as a kid, I could see that. Part of me kind of felt it was almost a little bit of a throwback to A Clockwork Orange, and the Droogs, or so.
It has like a Jim Jones vibe to it. Like it could end up something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yes.
FaZe, what did you think of this at the very end here?
So at the very beginning in Act 1, during the establishment of the camp, they make it very clear that it's a very Christian camp. Like they're praying before eating. They pray a lot. There's crosses. There's a lot of love for God. There's a lot of love for the Bible. So this gang is clearly a direct contrast to that. And in a sequel, there will probably be some conflict between those two parties. And, maybe the kid on one side and the father on another. We'll see.
Oh boy.
So that's kind of where my thoughts go. As far as the ending itself, I mean, it was different. I think it was meant to be, relief from all the dreariness, but it was very silly. I don't know. I don't know how I felt about it, honestly. I was still just feeling that dreariness and still being affected by that. I didn't really care. It didn't bother me. It's just like, okay, this is how it ended. It's weird, but whatever.
I just remember thinking, I hope they do better than The Walking Dead when they started introducing all these interesting looking people. And
Right.
I'm just really upset that after they killed all the infected, they didn't all stand back to back like this, like freeze frame. I was like, seriously, what the fuck? That ending, it fucking bothered me. It really did.
Sure.
It's a non-ending. It's just a.
Well, I know. I knew it was going to be another sequel. I know it was going to end on a cliffhanger. We were not going to get a clean ending.
Well, of course not. Yeah, because we already know there's 2 other movies that they want to make. So.
And Jamie wasn't even in the fucking movie for 2/3 of it. Once him and mom split, So.
All right. Now, as I mentioned in the description of this, I said Spike is rescued by a gang styled after a man named Jimmy Seville. Now, I learned this after I saw the movie and kind of did a little bit more research. Jimmy Seville was a eccentric BBC personality who died in 2011. Had shows on throughout like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and into the 90s even. But since his death, has been identified as one of the most prolific perverts and predatory criminals in recent memory. As many as 500 middle-aged women came forward after his death to allege they had been molested by the media personality. His victims ranged from the age of 2 to 75.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
His charitable contributions led to him having, access to hospitals, mental institutions, mortuaries, where he was said to have taken photos of dead in compromising positions, and lots of other just random weird shit. I highly recommend any of you that are wondering what this Jimmy might be, and I don't know if this is where they're going, but being British, as Danny Boyle is, and loving to play with British history, if you will,
Hmm.
whoo-wee, I have a strong feeling he's going down this road.
You got a 12-year-old there, so
Makes sense.
And maybe that's why he saved the kid.
And he had that creepy ass smile at the end. Like, it was
hope it
not a
doesn't go
friendly
that.
smile, dude.
That's just disgusting. I hope it doesn't go that route.
Oh, it will. I'm telling you, that's exactly where they're going to go.
So
Now, it just makes sense.
now I'm not British, so I didn't know any of this until I started, kind of doing some research. And I think I saw one article like right after I saw the movie that was just like, once people realize the significance of who Jimmy is in 28 years later, it will change their whole perspective of the movie. And I want to go back and watch this movie again before I really make like a final judgment on it with this information. So, does that change your perspective a little bit there, Colonel?
I still think it was fucking dumb. Like, they didn't need to be doing karate and shit. But, I mean, it solidifies the creepiness I felt with the gang. I felt they were creepy as shit. So it pretty much confirms it. Just, I don't know. I was going to use this for my review. This is one thing that sucks about watching not just British movies, but other international films. There's some stuff they're talking about that I just don't have a clue. Like, Dr. Strangelove, he knows. He's from the United Kingdom. We're not. So there's some shit I know his commentary, but I don't know what it is.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
From the film,
Look,
but I know there's a message here that I'm not getting.
Oh, look up this guy. You will go down a rabbit hole. It's wild shit, dude.
I will not be doing that. Thank you. I'm going to pass.
Do it in incognito mode, though. Just in case.
Just look it up at the public library phase. You'll be all right. They won't know
Oh,
you.
sure. Like that one time I watched the show at the public library.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
But yeah, and look at the picture of him too when you get a chance. Because
I'll at least do that. What was his name?
Jimmy Savile, Savile.
Oh my God.
Yeah, looks just like the guy. So, I want to go back to some of Strangelove's earliest comments. He posted these like right at the top of the show, basically. 28 years later, loved it, including the Jimmy Gang. And then he says, this cracked me up. The speed metal Teletubbies theme sent me over the edge at the end.
That was very silly.
Joyful droogery. So, oh yeah, that was great. And I think he's made a couple
what band did
comments
that,
here.
Gotta look that up.
Yeah. I could probably.
Yes. Yeah, Jimmy Savile, the creepiest of creeps. Yes. I have a feeling this is where they're going to go with this. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I'm curious how they're going to go on with that. There were a couple other comments here, I thought.
Yep.
There's one, I think Lorena says, I think it was total jubilation from them. They loved what they were doing. And yeah, the jumpsuits, they were a cult of Jimmy. Well, yeah, all of their names are variations of Jimmy. Every single one of those people that was in those tracksuits, all their names are Jimmy something. So, yeah, there is definitely a cult of Jimmy.
That's Fox, man.
Passing the Kool-Aid around.
Perhaps I'm not excited for a sequel anymore. That depends on what direction they go with that, I guess. I don't know.
So I'm looking at comments, so somebody talk.
Okay, well, I mean, do we just want to start on the rating and direction, or are we not done with Act 3 quite yet?
I just thought we were
the baby off, and off he goes.
Yeah.
That was it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
finished
talking about the movie. We're ready
That
to talk about.
fish.
All right, go ahead and fish into the next topic then.
Yeah.
All right, rating and
Fish.
direction.
Writing and direction. yeah, man, this guy's obviously a qualified visionary filmmaker. Is he not, Colonel?
No, I agree.
FaZe, what do you think of Boyle and the writer? I can't think of their name. Crank knows.
Right.
Alex Garland.
Alex Garland.
Good on both accounts. I just the fucking camera work on the arrows is where you're losing me. And I don't know if that was a director's choice or something in the editor bay, or I don't know. But it was a bad choice, whoever made it. With the camera flipping over with the arrow. It's just, it got so old so fast. But other than that, it was good. Nothing groundbreaking, but it was good. Especially in the peak points of sadness we were talking about.
It's telling the story. They know how to pace a story the right way for the most part.
Right. And they built that community so well too at the beginning, so gotta give props for that.
So much
The set design and the art direction and the set decoration was fascinating in this movie.
Probably the star of the film.
Yeah.
I wish they had it in that extra theater where it goes on the walls. And I thought, man, there were some killer scenes that would have really looked good on that, just like Sinners. But, they did a great job with the whole thing, the way it's laid out. You're in there. You're in there with them. They got you in there with them.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I thought they did a phenomenal job. I'll give them credit. Like I said, I walked out of this a bigger fan than I did when I walked out of 28 days, 28 days later.
Okay.
Which, to be honest, I need to give it a second. I need to give another viewing to give it a true. Give it a chance. I don't want to say anything. Just give it a chance because, like I didn't when it first came out. I was out with running zombies. Fuck that. Again, saying these aren't zombies to myself before going in helped a lot, and I appreciated the writing and direction. Like direction to me, the writing was the star of the fucking show. They told a good story.
Mm-hmm.
It had some fucking lows, but it had a lot of highs. They got you. We still good buying you time, Crank.
I just got to go with I have to accept that apparently the rage is diluted and can be staved off from within an infected person. If that's the truth. I love the angle, Colonel, you threw out there with the baby being the source of the cure. That's fucking sounds great.
Yeah.
Really go with that somewhere. Cool. What's your opinion on the writing and direction, Crank?
I thought it was both pretty solid. There are a couple of questions that are in the writing, like we talked about, but I'm willing to wait for another movie to see if it gives us some answers. So.
And the alleged arrival of Cillian Murphy will be welcome. See him come back.
Yeah, I think he might show up, kind of midway or close to the end of the next one, and then he might be the main focus of the third.
It's been confirmed he's in both films significantly. Right. So, yes, I agree. They'll probably, just like this one, where Eric ran in and saved him, it'd be something like that, where they're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
And he's going to show up covered in alcohol wipes instead of ice.
Yeah. We didn't say anything about this while we were reviewing this, but what was up with, are we going to just not say anything about that room full of methane gas exploding and everybody was fine except for the zombies?
God, I forgot about that. It was weird.
Because they dove to the ground.
Yeah, they were below the gas.
That's actual.
Yeah, to me, I hate to say it. That was one of them. That was believable.
Well, okay.
I've seen aftermath of stuff like that.
The explosion we saw on the outside was top to bottom. So I'm just that's all. If we're gonna be consistent about it, you want to throw details. You gotta come on, guys. You want to be impressive with your explosions. I get it, but it would have been a little less impressive for them to survive.
Sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let me hit a couple of comments before we move on here. Strangelove says, I'm Scottish, not British.
I'm
There we go.
Scottish.
Hmm.
If it's not Scottish, it's creep. I think using that creep is perfect, especially when you think of the moral of the story.
Okay.
I'm very curious, like I said, to see where they go with this. Tarek says, welcome, Tarek. You're a little late, but we'll allow it. It's a cultural barrier. I'm the same way. British dialogue can do something as benign as some food prep reference, and I'm instantly detached because what the fuck did they just say? Yeah, but this was a little bit, I don't know if
See, for me, it wasn't the dialogue. I'm just saying the references were very Great Britain.
this, well, especially
was
this
not gonna
reference to
pick up on
Jimmy.
those.
Yeah, this reference to Jimmy is very,
Well, the
If
reference
that's what
to
it
Jimmy,
is.
the reference to pretty much the days of feudalism, which I think that's something else we're going to get into later on in this trilogy. With all the archers and everything, it just, like I said, there's just references as an American I was not going to pick up. They were dropping it, and I was missing it. Not a bad thing. Just saying, I'm not cultured enough, apparently.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I still don't think they said anything that would have absolutely landmined you out of the story completely, though. I
Right.
can't recall anyway. I mean, maybe I just, I don't know. What did they say that was so just central to, I mean, just their normal slang, you mean, kind of stuff?
Well, that countdown, and then, like I said, all the references to, like, the medieval times and, like, feudalism, and like I said, there was something they were trying to drop there. I believe Dr. Strangelove said it earlier in the thing, talking about breaking traditions. Well, I know American traditions.
Oh yeah, dude. If this would have
I don't know the British Isle traditions. I don't know the Scottish traditions. I don't know the English traditions. I don't know the Welsh traditions.
right.
I don't. I can trace my lineage back to Yorkshire, but it doesn't mean anything because that was a long fucking time ago.
Yeah. If that shit were to happen like here in the States, it would be the hunters and the the deer hunters and shit like that would be, it would be the same thing, but you know what I mean? We'd have those, they would be the ones out there with their shit doing that. But I mean, I see where you're coming from and stuff, but it's okay. It's a
Right.
culture lesson for us Yanks.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying there was a message, another additional message in there. I just wasn't getting.
Yeah. All right.
You like
Let's
their
move on to casting and acting. So I thought the kid was great. The mom was great. Everybody else was kind of just, they were good, but
what they had to do, they did it.
Doctor was great.
and Ray Fiennes, of course,
Yeah, man.
always shines. So solid all the way around. Ziggy.
I 100% agree. Just if they casted it perfect to get that kind of result. Can't wait to see where they go with it with some of these, with the Jimmy gang and all that.
Right.
So,
Strangelove also says the next film is an exploration of the nature of evil, and this film was about family. So
Interesting.
we'll see how that goes.
should see some horrible debauchery from those folks.
Oh yeah. Phase casting and acting notes.
I'm going to keep it short. Just, yeah, it was good all around. I had no complaints.
All right.
That is all.
All right, Colonel.
Again, just for time, no complaints. That was great. I really appreciate the casting for the Alpha. That's the closest I've ever seen to Andre the Giant being Bigfoot and the $6 million man since. I think it was awesome. They did good.
I thought it was Jason Momoa on Temu.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite moment. Can be a kill, can be a scene, can be
I
a.
already said mine.
Yeah, I think I pretty much already said mine too. Mine was the the showing the fiance.
Oh, yeah.
For me, again, short and sweet. I kind of already mentioned it. It was the scene in the church when they were camping when mom snapped out of her shit and went into mom mode and protected her child. I really like that. That one really stuck out for such a quick, short, just little. See, this is what happened. I thought that was pretty powerful.
Huh. Okay. I wasn't sure if you were going to go with the beheading, the Alpha beheadings.
No, I said it was cool, but there was It's up there. It's my 1B. We'll say that.
It's a great pick, Colonel. Ziggy?
Yeah, Ziggy.
Yeah, Ziggy. The beheadings. No, I'm just kidding. I actually dug the bar scene when Dad was blowing up Spike to the crowd, and the crowd was just, yeah, it could have been saying, and then he shit his pants. Yeah, they wouldn't have cared. I just that whole scene had me smiling. I just dug it, man.
That was fun. Alrighty, Phase.
Yeah, just the that moment where the boy crumbled that they're learning that his mom was terminal. It's just like, fuck. That
Yeah, there's
whole
nothing I can
scene
do.
was just excellent.
It's like, what do you mean it's not going to be okay? You know, it just, oh,
Yeah.
Me and my love for depressing shit. Well, there you go.
Stranger Love says the chase on the causeway for the image. That was a good that was a good scene too.
just the slashing and then the stride of the alpha.
Yeah.
Compared to their strides, it was like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, man.
And Joshua says the bar scene as well. So
Nice.
all right, one more. Here we go. Final thoughts and ranking. Woo-wee. Is this one going to stink like a Scuba Steve? Or is it going to shine like a glistening skull fresh out of the oven? I don't know where that comparison came from, but I like it.
It works.
Fits. It fits. Who wants to start with this one? Colonel?
Ah, God damn it.
Okay, Phase.
That's right.
Sure. All right. I skipped myself last time, so yeah, man. I wasn't sure how I felt about this going into the show, but now I'm feeling a bit more confident. There have been a lot of one and dones this year with movies that I don't care to ever see again, but I do want to see this one again at some point, along with, checking out 28 Days Later as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to finally see a movie that I would like to see a second time at least. It's been a while. That said, it had its issues. I'm gonna have to get over the fucking arrows when I do rewatch it. But other than that, it's worth it. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Very high, but that's the dreariness of it really, really brought it up for me.
7.5.
Super, I really liked it in the end. The flaws, I can get over it. It's not perfect, but yeah, 7.5.
All right. Lorena adds to favorite moment, putting Mom's skull on top of the pile. That whole scene was so good, but I had to go with.
Would Moms go?
I needed something light for my favorite moment, and that was one of the few light moments.
Sure.
So, all right, now Colonel.
Okay. Dude, like I said, I'm a Phase. The bullet shit kind of got to me after a while. But overall, the cinematography was fantastic. I thought it looked great. I mentioned it. Strange Love mentioned it. That chase down that just looked great with the with the Northern Lights and the Milky Way and all that. It was a beautifully shot scene. The cinematography was off the fucking charts, especially after the bullshit we saw with the ritual. It was nice. It was refreshing. Like I said, I'll be honest, I thought it ran a little long. They could have cut a little bit off of this for the type of movie that it is. But overall, I was okay with it. I'm not going to bitch. Like, oh my God, they could have cut 20 minutes off.
I'm not sure where they could have cut, though. I thought about that too.
It's true.
I mean, there's a little bit you could cut on some of the scenes, but I think most of this you need.
The only time I looked at my phone was after the whole mom shit, dude. And I was kind of like, you motherfuckers, and I just wanted to see where we were, because I was mad. I was like, they did it again. I'm fucking all busted up.
No, like I said, I would have been happier with the standard 90 minutes, but I was okay with what we got. Acting was great. The writing was great. Again, even though the Jimmy stuff, okay, it makes more sense why they were dressed that way. Still, for such a serious movie, for such a silly ending for me, really fucking hurt it. I I've been debating my score. Honestly, I was starting getting pretty low. I've gotten lower each fucking day till we got
Wow.
to tonight. Because like I said, I went and seen it Thursday. I seen it, in the
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've been sitting on it for a few days, and it was nice to have this discussion. This is still so hard because, like I said, I do want to watch it again for the whole Jimmy aspect. But then, honestly, I'll probably be good never seeing it again. But I liked it. I didn't love it. I'm going to give it a 7. That's kind of where I came out with the theater. I was probably down to about a 5
Wow.
yesterday. Just thinking about it because that fucking ending, dude. I was being really harsh with that ending. I still don't think it's worth all the hype. I'll say that. Like the hype for it was insane. It's not as good as the hype had it up to be. But man, the backlash it's getting online, I don't get it. It's not that bad of a movie.
No.
I've seen 10 movies 10 times worse than this just this year. It's a good watch.
All right. I'll go and I'll let Ziggy wrap it up. I'm pretty basic on this one. Like I said, I need to see this again before I can give it like my official score. But walking out of the theater, I'll say I was probably at around a 5. But since because there were some things that just irritated me. The just completely naked zombies being one of them. The ending kind of didn't sit with me at first either, but once I started kind of learning where this was going, I still don't like the whimsicalness of it, but I get what they were trying to do. So, but after talking about it or after thinking about it, a day basically, because I saw it. Well, I was walking out of the theater about 24 hours ago.
Wow.
So after thinking about it for a good day and then talking with you guys about it, I think I'm going to float up to a 7 because there were a lot of questions and a lot of holes that I want to see filled. But I'm going to give them a chance with, the next movies to see if they do that. So, and we'll find out. And I'm going to definitely watch it again in January before the Bone Temple comes out. So,
Yeah.
That'll give us a chance to do that. So,
To me, I'm sorry, it's just funny you were down to a 5 because, like I said, that's kind of what I was going into this with.
Yeah.
I'm glad we talked before I was like, fuck it sucks.
Yeah. All right, Ziggy.
It's funny, man, because like I probably would have been a little higher than you guys on this one, honestly, because I thought it came at you with a baseball bat, dude, and didn't let up just on the way they told the story. I'm not a huge fan of the whole rage thing and what because in my mind of what he built it up to be in his first movie is absolutely the thing you'd never want to be near anybody near it, touch it, anybody close to it, anything like that. And they kind of made it, she's standing right next to a chick that clearly is going to cover you in fluids. Yeah, okay. Show me something with it. I love Colonel's theory that the baby will be the source of the cure to save United Kingdom. That'll be cool as fuck if they go this way with that. A lot of speculation with what these next 2 chapters are going to say. I dig the Jimmy Gang because as silly as they are, I think it's a prelude to darkness ahead. Like they were saying, just evil, a look at evil, a study of evil.
Right.
That will be well accepted. This one here, man, it kept me thinking. I saw it Saturday. I thought about it pretty much all day Sunday while I was working. So I mean, it's just it's well crafted fucking movie. This is a good flick. You should see it.
They're good filmmakers.
Yeah, they're the hype of Boyle coming back to the series and directing it, it's good, man. It lives up to its legacy status. I would have gone higher without for that one scene, but I'm going to go 7. I would have gone higher if not for that. With what I think the Rage is, what it was to me the last 23 years, so
Fair enough.
That's why. But
All right,
still,
so
it's good.
So 7.5. What was you, Colonel?
7.
7. Ziggy? 7. So basically 7.8, 6, 7.6.
Well, it would be
With that.
below 7.5 somewhere there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean 7.06.
Oh, right.
So, all right, let's look at. We got a couple of rankings in the list here. Strange Love says giving it 8 out of 10. I saw it a few days ago, and I'm still unpacking it. When I think about it, it makes me happy, like shit that was good happy. Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
that was good.
Cool.
Definitely.
And then he goes on to say 8 out of 10 glistening skulls.
Nice.
Top of the pile.
Lorena says, already told somebody I think I like this movie more than anyone else on the planet. Was great. Solid 8. All right. And Joshua in with the 5. Joshua not liking it. Up 5.
Oops.
And I can understand why.
I can too.
I would like to ask him a couple of questions. If it was he bothered by the same things we were, or why didn't he like it? Because God willing, he hasn't had to deal with any of that bullshit firsthand.
Here's a good question from Strange Love. Where do you fellas think it's going to go next? I obviously, like I've said, I think it's going to follow Jimmy's gang for a little bit. But why it's called the Bone Temple worries me that maybe they're going to, like, Spike is going to mention, hey, I just went over here to see this doctor, and they're like, doctor?
Yeah.
So
you got Jamie chasing Spike. He's going to be after him the whole movie. So and then at some point, Cillian Murphy returns.
Cillian will show up.
Yep. So it should be good. I don't know if will it be Empire Strikes Back good?
No.
Well, and I like that it kind of sounds like each movie is going to have its own theme. Like he was talking, Strange Love was saying, the first one's about family, second one's about the evolution of evil, and then third obviously is going to have some kind of redemption story.
Yep.
Or story of survival. I think Colonel's trying to send us a subtle, not so subtle.
No, I'm sorry.
He's breathing heavy on the mic over there.
It's like, oh wait, there's one more thing.
I know it'll piss you off. I'd be like,
yep.
I won't.
Oh man.
Don't let it fool you, folks. Colonel is thinking,
Hey, fuck you, man!
Quit talking, man.
No, we're good. I'm just saying, bro. My natural clock is shutting me down. That's all.
Well, I'm about to ruin your day.
All right.
You ready?
Sure.
All right, gang. Next week on the show, we will be reviewing Megan 2.0.
Yep, I made a graphic just because I knew it would be quite the popular topic.
So tune in next Monday, June 30th. You want to see some rage virus infected people? We'll be here next Monday to talk about Megan 2.0.
Yeah, no. I might magically forget that I can't see this movie. I forgot. Sorry, guys. I forgot. Oh, God damn it.
What the hell is the matter with you anyway?
Even the comments are against this idea.
God, man.
Like, fuck no.
Strange Love. It could be entertaining though.
It's not going to be entertaining. It's going to
No.
be a piece of shit.
Lorena
This
says.
show next week will be entertaining.
Lorena says, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
She might not be seeing it. I might have to solo this one.
Oh shit!
It's that bad.
Oh boy. Anyway, send them out, gang. Phase.
Yeah, folks, next week, Megan 2.0. I'm going to go ahead and get that out there for you guys just to, you can relax. That's not for another week. But yes, thank you all for watching. Yeah. This was a really nice discussion about 28 years later. I was not expecting this to, be as much as it was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting another meh film.
Well, we went quite a bit long talking about it too, so it made that much of an impact on us.
A lot going on. A lot.
You started a little late too. But yes, folks, we'll see you next week. Right. We love you. And somebody send them out.
Yep. Ziggy.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you coming in here and unwrapping this thing with us. Whether or not you agree with us, it's all right. That's what it's all about, man. We're here to discuss it, and your opinion matters just as much as ours. But we damn well appreciate you showing up every week and love you, and some great stuff coming down the pike here. Hang with us, Colonel.
All right. I actually enjoyed discussing 28 years later. It's been a lot of fun. Dr. Strangelove, thank you for joining us. It was nice to get the perspective of someone
over there
from the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
On this film. Also, I just would like to let everybody know, if you don't want to, next weekend, actually this weekend, coming out June 27th, starring Brad Pitt, F1. Yes, a Formula One racing movie. That would probably be a lot better than It's Britney, Bitch, Megan 2.0. So
they kind of quit it with these trailers too for this Megan movie.
I'm telling you right now, prediction. My highlight for Megan 2.0 is going to be the Black Phone 2 trailer again. So, you know what? I'm going to stay in the world of 28 years later. Fellas, you're going to get sick because you can't wash your dick. Ladies, it's okay if you smell like a Scuba Steve. Everybody else does. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Before we get out of here, one last time, I want to thank the Final Girls and Guys and all of our members. Final Girls and Guys, Christy, C-Phase, Lorena, BD, Alex, Robert, and Tyrone, our Crazy Ralphs, Bells, Fancy Creations, Dr. Smiley, Morgan, Crypt Horror, Raymond, and the whole damn Enchilada Pod. And, of course, our camp counselors, Adam, Christy, Luke, Lou, Jimmy and Rachel, Stacy Lynn, Orlando, Chuck Schick, Dave, Carl, Patricia, Kristen, and JJ. Become a member and help join and help support the DCS at deathcurssociety.com. Thanks to our please.
Thank you, FaZe, for all the hard work and everything you do. You're the best, man. You do a great job, and you can't be told enough. Even when Crank goes underwater, you do a great job.
Did I go underwater?
It happens every time.
He got caught in the tide. He couldn't make it.
Dude, only at that same fucking point.
It must be right when we come out of the
it is
that drop.
Graphic. That is.
Oh, the clap?
Yeah.
That has to be it.
That's got to be the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe our new provider will fix that.
Maybe.
And like we said, join us next week. Megan 2.0. We'll all be here, maybe.
Colonel's just like, fuck.
I'm pissed, man.
You know it's going to be fun to rip on this fucking movie.
See, Megan opened the season that year when we watched the first one. So we were excited just to get the year started.
This is so fucking bad, dude. There's no way you can hype this up for me. There's no way. It's going to be.
This isn't a horror movie.
Oh, I'm pissed off by the trailer alone because the whole "hold on to your vagina" line pisses me off every time.
It's so bad.
Hold on to your vagina. And Jimmy, whatever in the UK said, that's my job.
I've done that 500 times. Sometimes to children. All right, we got to go. Jesus Christ. Where are we going? Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week. For the Colonel, for Zigzag, for C-Phase, Red Crank saying DCS out. And
What?
Just in the middle of a dream, I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't